Welcome back. You're still tuned into Midcap Radar, and it is time for our special segment, Midcap Spotlight. Today, we're looking at KPIT Tech. Rima, what has the stock so excited?
Well, just on cue, as we were talking about KPIT Tech, going into the break, the stock has spiked up close to about 3% now. Before that, the gains were fairly sedate at about 1%. Okay, so the news for KPIT Tech. They've acquired an automotive prototyping and products company called Technica Engineering. This is an EU-based company for 80 million euros. At the current conversion rate of euro-dollar parity, it turns out to be about $80 million. The consideration will be paid over 6 months, and over and above this $80 million, the company has said that they will be paying a maximum of 30 million euros as earnouts over the next 2.5 years. Now about the acquired company. Now it had revenues of 43 million euros and 20% EBITDA margins. So margins are largely similar to where KPIT Tech is currently operating at, slightly higher. Analysts estimate that once fully consolidated, this acquisition can add about 10 to 11% to KPIT Tech's top line, and the company has said this acquisition will be EPS accretive. The acquisition will be closed in October. So in the current year, in FY23, KPIT Technology will get 5 months benefits of a consolidation, November, December, January, February, as well as March. So the question is, what will it do to FY23 guidance? So for that, we await more clarity from the management. The current guidance is the revenue growth will be 18 to 21%, volume growth will be 25%, and EBITDA margins will be in the range of 18 to 19%. Now, since this acquisition has come on board and it will contribute for 5 months in FY23, this guidance is likely to get boosted, but we need more clarity from the management on the quantum of the guidance upgrade that we could see. So that's about KPIT Tech, the acquisition giving the stock some legs. But let's move on and talk about Triveni Turbine. 21.8% equity has changed hands in a block deal today. Promoters have bought 10% stake. What about the others? Vivek is here with the details.
Well, yesterday in our show, we had mentioned and we had highlighted both of the stocks, both Triveni Engineering as well as Triveni Turbine. And we had told you about how, there was renewed buying interest and there was quite a bit of chatter as far as the stake of Triveni Engineering in Triveni Turbine was concerned. So at the end of the June quarter, Triveni Engineering held almost 21.85% stake. And the company had said that they had decided to divest the entire stake. So today, along expected lines, the entire 21.85% stake held by Triveni Engineering and Triveni Turbines has been divested. Now, out of that, 10% stake was bought by the promoters of Triveni Turbines. And very interestingly, the remainder of the stake, we had the management of Triveni Turbines tell us that very strong interest was seen. And in fact, sovereign wealth funds, both from Singapore and Abu Dhabi, as well as very large Indian mutual funds had participated. Going forward, they did mention that there could be more inter-se promoters transfers happening so that the entire alignment of the management of Triveni Engineering and Triveni Turbines would be along the lines that the management has alluded to.
All right, Vivek, thanks a lot for that. So Vivek was just talking about what the management had to say. We spoke with Nikhil Sawhney, who's VC and MD of Triveni Turbines. So let's listen into that.
We're very proud that we have, and I believe very marquee investors, many sovereign wealth funds and large international institutional investors, as well as very large mutual funds. And I think that we have, I believe, extremely quality investors. This was, of course, as you alluded to, a divestiture from the engineering side, where they sold 21.8%, I think, for approximately 1,600 crores. And we at Triveni Turbine are extremely proud of the fact that we've been able to actually expand the float of the stock, as well as the promoters itself have also bought 10% of that block. I think the ultimate plan, as I am the Vice Chairman and Managing Director of Triveni Turbine and my brother is the Vice Chairman and Managing Director of Triveni Engineering, it would be for majority shareholding to reside with the operational executives of that business. From a family perspective, as you rightly pointed out, the principal promoters are my father, my brother, and myself. And as my father's plans his succession, it will logically fall to the sibling that is operationally in charge of that business.
Okay, that's the other big story. But let's move on. Central Bank of India is surging after RBI removed the bank from the Prompt Corrective Action Framework. Ritu is joining us to give us more details. Ritu?
That's right, the RBI has finally removed Central Bank of India from the Prompt Corrective Action Framework after more than 5 years. And this makes Central Bank one of the last banks to be taken out of the PCA framework after Indian Overseas Bank and UCO Bank were removed from PCA just last year. Now, RBI in a statement said it reviewed the performance of the bank and found that it was no longer in breach of the PCA parameters. Remember, Central Bank of India was placed under restrictions in June of 2017 because of its high net NPAs and negative return on assets at the time. Since then, the bank's performance has seen an improvement, although its gross NPAs remain high at almost 14.9% as of the last reported numbers. Its net NPA, which is what RBI looks at, has fallen to 3.93% as of the June quarter, compared to 10.2% in March of 2017 when the bank was placed under restrictions. Its capital adequacy ratio has also improved from 10.95% at the time to now at about 13.3%. Under the Prompt Corrective Action Framework, Central Bank of India had restrictions on dividend distribution, on the management compensation, branch expansion, and so on. And now removal from PCA paves the way for normal functioning of the bank.
All right, Ritu, thanks a lot for getting us all of those details on Central Bank of India. In fact, earlier we also spoke with M.V. Rao, who's MD and CEO of the bank. So let's listen into what he had to say about this important development.
We will be coming out of the PCA because the measures what we have taken, and we know that it is only a matter of time, and also the confidence what regulator will be getting on our activities. That's why we have factored all these things when we have given this projection. I tell you, our gross NPA will be drastically coming down. The slippages what we are envisioning for the quarter of September will be around 1. Not more than that. We have given the graded gliding path where from 3.93 we will be touching around 3.6, 3.55. In that range we have given.
Okay, on that note, it's time. Okay, before we get to a short break, this is a CNBC TV 18 news break which got confirmed. Yes Bank is higher in trade after the board clears the sale of a 48,000 crore of weak assets to JC Flowers ARC. Ritu is back with us and she's going to tell us more on this.
That's right. As we reported earlier, Yes Bank has now said that it received no challenger bids to the 11,183 crore rupee offer made by JC Flowers ARC to acquire its 48,000 crore rupee NPA portfolio. And therefore, in its meeting on the 20th of September, the board of Yes Bank has approved the declaration of JC Flowers ARC as the winning bidder. And separately, they've also approved the acquisition of up to 19.99% stake of Yes Bank into JC Flowers ARC in single or multiple tranches. But importantly, this acquisition of stake in the ARC is going to be subject to regulatory, specifically RBI approvals. So we'll have to see how that pans out. However, for the transfer of the NPA to the ARC, no other regulatory approvals are required. So this paves the way for cleaning up of Yes Bank's balance sheet. In another important development, Yes Bank said that the Reserve Bank of India has approved the appointment of R. Gandhi as the chairman of Yes Bank for a period of 3 years. Remember, R. Gandhi, who was a former RBI deputy governor, was also on the board of Yes Bank for 2 years during the period of reconstruction of the bank. And now with the newly appointed 9-member board, R. Gandhi is set to take over as the chairman for the next 3 years.
All right, Ritu, thanks a lot for getting us all of the details on Yes Bank, the stock around 3% higher. By the way, the market is also sort of cutting its losses right now. We're just around 50 points lower. So there has been another attempt to move up around 0.25% on the Nifty is where we're at. In fact, the Nifty Bank has also recovered significantly around 200 points from the lows. And it is a lot of these metal stocks which are moving up. So the likes of JSW, you have Tata Steel also, which is moving up. In fact, some of the financials, so Bajaj Finance has moved up quite sharply. So that is what we're seeing as far as the market action goes. So we're going to get into a short break now. But as we do that, here are some great news for investors. You can now track the US market action real time on Money Control. So log on to Money Control's website or app and you can stay informed about all of that matters in global markets.